So 2004 comes around, and you have some students who want to be involved in a project, and that also seems to be another big deal. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, every once in a while there are pivots. Yeah, I'm in class one day, and the student raises his hand. It's October. Professor Kornhauser. Hey, I read here that there's some sort of competition with automated cars that being run in the desert, driverless cars, and they want a car to drive by itself from basically Barstow to Prim, somewhere in Nevada or whatever. Oh yeah, really? Sure. And, yeah, well, it's a bunch of universities are involved. Why isn't Princeton involved? There, because I'm talking about personal rapid transit and automation and all this stuff in class. Well, first of all, you got to realize, one, it's really tough for a vehicle to do it. And to do 100 miles or so on desert roads, I mean, nobody's going to do it. One. Two is that to do it, guess what? You actually have to do it, not just conceptualize, theorize, make a proof, write an equation about. You got to get some dirt under your fingernails and do it. And this is Princeton. Look at your fingernails. None of you have any dirt under your fingernails. We do proofs, theorems, equations, write a little code. We're not out there putting dirt under our fingernails, making a vehicle actually do something. Because of that, you guys aren't cut for it. Gals out there. Oh, they all look at their fingernails and they're all perfect, And so I come back the next week, headline, vehicle that went the farthest was Carnegie Mellon, 7.8 miles. Told you guys, no, can't do that. Not even Carnegie Mellon with who knows how much funding they have from whom and whatever, and all these people that do want to get dirt under their fingernails. They couldn't even do it. They crashed and burned. Oh. Students. And then a couple weeks later, DARPA announces we're going to do it again in 2005. Student raises his hand in class again. It's really like, hey, look, DARPA's going to do it again next year. Can we get involved? And I said, did you look at your fingernails? Oh, we're different. Get out of here. Oh no, come over to Colonial Club and we'll have lunch and we'll try to convince you that we're different. The eating clubs. And I said, oh, okay, all right, fine, all right, we'll try. We'll see what we can do. We need a vehicle. So one of my former students is reasonably high up in General Motors, so I pick up the phone. We need a vehicle to participate in this. Can you guys give us a vehicle? Oh, damn. I don't know. Well, we'll see what I can do. A couple of weeks later, I get, we did find that a pickup truck that we're sending out to Long Island or something like that, something crashed on the roof and cracked the windshield, and we're going to basically just forego the vehicle. We'll donate it to Princeton, okay? Because we can't, it's going to be gray marketed or whatever, and so on. So we're just going to, we'll make a donation to Princeton. We'll take it, I guess, I don't know, who knows what, I don't know. They agreed. So they had a form for me to sign saying that, take this. The car will never see the light of day on a road ever again. You're going to just take it apart and go into the classroom with a piston and show them, here, students, this is a piston, and put it back. Where do I sign? So, that's the thing I'm saying. Yeah. And so I had a couple of students from that class, and then that summer after that, there were some rising sophomores who needed internships, and so I got some rising sophomores, and we set out to basically make a monster and put stuff on this car to automate it, and we got accepted into the competition. We ended up being the 10th seed. We only ended up going 9.8 miles before we crapped out in the final competition. We had no money. We had a stereo camera on the front. We were essentially only vision GPS receivers on the roof for where we had GPS, but you had to operate this thing also on being able to do image processing and find out where the objects are and avoid them and all that stuff. And one of our sponsors, I like to say, was Tom Haynes' Blueberry Farm in South Jersey, because Tom allowed us to bring the vehicle down to his farm and test it, because we were going to be out there on desert roads, and we figured that, you know, we had to understand the slip of the wheel and sand and so on. So we went down there and tested. He allowed us to use his cranberry bog things that he has around cranberries to drive around and test it. So we gave him a sponsorship, and that's what we did. And the kids wrote the code, and we went 9.8. We left the vehicle out there, came back to Princeton because we couldn't afford to bring it back at that time. Went back out 3 weeks later, during fall break. Opened up the vehicle, opened up the code, address, looked at the code and said, "Oh, we didn't do garbage collection. We forgot to put memory on it." So by the time we were 9.8 miles, we were basically tracking 250,000, the location of 250,000 objects that we had passed already. Why did we do that? Why did we maintain location of the objects that we detected? Was the reason why we only had stereo camera in the front. We had nothing looking back. So if we ever got stuck in a corner, we would play back. We had setups to play back the location of the objects that we had just passed and back up. So we had to save a certain number of them. We didn't need to save 250,000.
You weren't purging them.
We changed one line of code. We ran basically the 2005 course frontward, 2004 course backwards. Beer bottle pass 3 times, twice at night. We had never operated this vehicle at night before.
Wow.
So the image vision processing system, along with the GPS, along with the data that they provided and so on, we could have, a lot of people could have, but we could have finished. So, I mean, those kids came damn close, but it's a completely different thing than putting it out there on your street, avoiding kids running out and so on. That's why, it's taken so much time since 2005 to get to the point where we are now, because we were basically going very little. But the one thing, the real contribution of 2004, 2005, 2007 challenges by DARPA was the concept that the automation could be done by putting all the intelligence in the vehicle and operating in existing roadways. That is the key opportunity. So you don't have to go ask New Jersey DOT to do anything except for maybe put paint on the roads and fill the potholes. which is things you need to do for the way we use the roads anyway. So you don't have to go for the infrastructure piece of this thing. You can spend all your time basically on one vehicle and getting it to work and then replicating. And the replication cost of the software is 0. And the replication costs of the gizmos on the vehicles, the sensors and the actuators, well, in small numbers, they might be challenging, but they're all Moore's Law-ish type things. That in fact, their prices going with any scale.
Just like your $100,000 GPS receiver.
It's just like, exactly. You know, that could not be a bit, you know, as the market begins to appreciate the thing and use it and values it, guess what? A lot of people go in there and make improvements. It just takes that curve and, you know, it's more, I mean, the memory that we had in 1996 to be able to put this stuff on. What did I do? I just bought a 32 gigabyte SD card for $12 or something. I mean,